Hello, my lovely spectators. Dee here, and we're doing another catch-up video to the hashtag Roxy's Weekly Challenge 2026. This is for week 3, which is the Vellum, simple Vellum envelopes, which is on was given on 1/16. She releases her prompts on Friday, as for what I'm understanding for her videos, and so. On the 23rd, another video, it will come out. Today is the 23rd because I'm trying to catch up so I can be in line. And I haven't had a chance to watch. So I'm trying to catch up. So this is for week number 3, simple vellum envelopes. And when I watched her video, she actually is constructing the envelopes. And basically, they could be any size that you want. So I have a bunch of this. Now, what is this? This is paper that I've already cut down. And she has some really nice vellum, which I couldn't find in my messy place. But I did have this. So let me show you. This is another one of those Facebook finds. So this will remind you, it has a nice crunch appeal. But this is basically exam room paper. So Facebook Marketplace, somebody, I guess they were part of the office. I don't know exactly how, what, and why, but they had a whole box of these. So yeah, do I need a whole box? Of course not. Am I storing a whole box? Of course. But they had this, and I said, you know what? I couldn't find not tissue paper. This is like tissue paper, I guess. I couldn't find tracing paper in the dollar store. For some reason, they just didn't have it, at least in my local. And I don't necessarily want to buy the best vellum to have as layers and things of that nature to add that little bit of, you know, something, something. Because, I mean, it's very easily tearable, right? And it's very easy to crumble up and to then have this nice texture. You could ink it. You can put it as part of a layer. So, I said, you know what? Let me cut it down, right? And actually be able to make some envelopes. That's what I'm going to do. But let me show you how I cut this down, because it's too big for it's too big for a trimmer, because literally this thing has to be about, I think it's about 18 inches. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, it's about 18 inches long. Don't ask me how long it is in terms of the full length. I have no clue. But I had one of these in my stash. And so I put, you know, this is that paper opener kind of thing. So I said, let me try that. So let's see if I can get this to work and me not look like a fool. So you go like this. And you just hold it taut. And you can get a nice little, I mean, if you've done it, think about doing it for other things. You know where this is actually good? When you're harvesting books, if you think about it. You got to get up in there between the cover and the block. So next time you have to take apart a book, you might want to try this. I have used this quite a number of times and have been successful. Sometimes I use the scissors and I go a little too extreme and I wind up cutting through the actual cover that I'm trying to keep. Good little tip. Hopefully you try it. If you do, let me know. Did you like it? Anywho, so we're going to mass make a bunch of vellum envelopes and see if we actually decorate them. So once I pulled out the strip of, where the hell did I do the one? Okay, whatever length it is, right? Whatever length it is, width it is, I just folded it in half, because remember it's 18, so I folded it in half as good as I could. And it's, you know, it's not exactly the easiest thing, but once you get the length, so I wouldn't go crazy. I pulled like 36-inch, like the length of my arm or so, strips, cut them, and then I folded it in half that way, and then I folded it so it was half the 18, and then I folded it until it was reasonable and could fit into my trimmer. Then I cut off all 4 edges, and I was able to get a bunch of little sheets, right? And if some edges had some of these kind of messed up, I just trimmed them off, just trying to keep it more of a rectangle or a square shape in order to facilitate making the envelopes. So there's a number of kind of envelopes that you could make. We're just going to make a bunch. We're going to make this whole stack. I don't even know. I didn't even count how many pages there are, but we shall see. The first kind of envelope that you can make is It's just a standard like rectangle envelope. Now, I know that she being Rachel, because I watched her video to see what it was that were the expectations of this mask make, right? Because we are following along on the prompt and the challenge. You know, it's not going to be exactly, but we get our inspo, right? So she was folding up all of the edges to create like a real envelope that had, so let me show you. She was doing edges over here, right? On this side and on this side. I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to see how I like it. I feel like I won't because I'm sometimes kind of lazy and I just don't want to deal with all this extra. So then she was making like the flap, the top flap, and then she was bringing up the rest to be under that. So you have this, you know, rectangular envelope. I mean, it's not so bad, right? There's a little bit of off. I'm a little off here, right? It's not so bad, but then she proceeded to cut all this extra stuff out because you had this doubling up over here. You had the doubling up over here. I don't know if I'm mad at that. I think I'm gonna leave it. Let's see what happens, right? So she cut off, I think this extra piece, and those two extra pieces, and left the reinforcement there so that she would have a little bit more of a kind of a gusset. I don't know that I would fill a ton of stuff into this envelope, but it kind of has the gusset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it and see what happens. So we're going to put glue across the entire width of this fold, and we're going to put glue across the entire width. I think in her comments somebody asked about the glue. It's gonna cause some ripples, but when it dries out it kind of smooths out, right? So I wouldn't, I mean, you have to be like, it really bothers you, and you know, which a lot of things don't bother me too much. So let's see, if we do that, we get that pocket there, right? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. And then I could just, you know, go in here, add a little bit more, some glue there to the top part. Okay. And do the same thing on this side. Add to the top. Okay. All right. And there we go. We've got our first envelope. Okay. There we go. There we go. Envelope time. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's gonna dry, so you can see the glue through. It's gonna dry eventually. It's still wet, right? This is one layer folded. This is two layer. Two layer, you hardly see the glue at all. So I'm not mad at that, and I think it does the job. So I'm gonna make a few like this, and then we'll try a different style envelope. So I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna speed up the make as you are watching. And we'll come back and try something different. Okay, so I'm gonna hold off on these because I want to do maybe a couple of different other styles. So we've created two that are drying over here. You're gonna, you know, you can see the glue, but again, it's all good. You know what? It's fine. So these two are already glued up, and then I said to myself, wait a minute, mask making is about, hold on, excuse me, mask making was about doing all of the same function and process in one go. Makes it quicker, and then you go back and you start doing the next phase of it. So we're going to do the next phase for these types of envelopes. So again, we're just going to put glue on the inside here and inside here. So this is not the flap, this is the mouth, I guess, of the envelope. We're gonna just put that down, and then over here we're gonna go in between here and we're gonna reinforce this part and that part, which is for the flap. Okay. Now, I'm good with these envelopes, like I said earlier, the way that they look and stuff like that. If you're not, your mass make can be, you know, slightly different, and it will be a different type of envelope being made altogether. So that's number 3. Okay, and do it again. We're gonna do it. Yeah, so the longer side is the under the flap. So we got 1. We're gonna glue in 4 places. 2. Okay, and have that folders already there for us. Okay, then we're going to glue under to reinforce right to this edge or so, and then turn it around. So how many of you guys love a good mask make? I forgot who it was. I kind of think it was Racheal in this video talking about, you know, sometimes, like, you know, you can't really think of something new and original. I mean, not begrudging her. I'm just saying that she's making a valid point, and I've heard other creators make the same point, because, you know, there's only so many ways you can fold a piece of paper. So it's just putting on your unique spin to the thing that's being done. So, yeah. Do that side. Let me move up here. I'm gonna do this side over here. Okay. So this type of setup right here, this is new to me, actually, like doing it, but I did change it up for my level of lazy to you know, than hers. But I like the way that this looks. I actually like the dark edges over here. That actually does not bother me. So I'm kind of like, cool, I got another kind of thing, you know, in my repertoire, so to say, or in my stash now. So you're going to be able to fill this up with like ephemera, a nice little card, some, you know, coffee dyed note paper, anything really. You can probably even glue it down and make it a pocket. I don't know, depending upon the thickness. Now this, like I said, is basically a step or 2 above tissue paper. So it does have a little stability, but it is very easy to tear, super easy to tear. Then there's probably tracing paper, then vellum, etc., etc. So, but we got to use what we have, right? We have to use what we have. So, you know, there we go. So there we go. I think I did 8. I'm gonna count in a minute. This is the last one of this style. So okay, and she did decorate in her video. I think I'm gonna try to slap a few things, because with the vellum, it's like understated decoration. One, vellum doesn't usually stamp that great, so using stamping as a decorative element sometimes is hard to do, because basically, you know, it takes forever to dry, if it dries at all. This tissue paper I have not played with. That's another thing I might do. I haven't tried the stamping on this. It feels a little more like it might be receptive to stamps, but I'm not sure. So maybe that might be a video in itself. Okay, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 8, because I have another one from before. So I have 8 of these. I had to do a test run, of course. So 8 of these, right? And again, you know, the speeding up and whatever, the time stamp would have told you how much it was to fold them. I didn't speed through the gluing. So there's 8 of these. Now, we could also do the usual. Now, this is, for the most part, I believe these are all squares. I was trying to go with 8 by 8. So let's see. Something's a little wonky. Getting caught on something else, maybe. The edges curling up, etc. So these are about, sorry, yeah, they're about 8 by 8. So let's try to do the other envelope method, which is that one that goes like this. Now, do I want to write inside them? Not really, because, you know. So this paper happens to be thin enough that I could kind of lay this out and see what I need to see, which is that the corners, the points, the vertices for the math people are on actual grid lines. And since there's no, what do you call it? There's nothing, there's no decoration, right? We can actually see through the paper to get them to be where they need to be and cross each other like they need to cross each other there, right? Right? We're going to cross that little X. I don't want to write on this because this is, you know, see-through. And then this one we can kind of approximate by writing, putting this up, right? We'll put this over here. We'll find a middle point, and then we'll try to keep it going towards the middle. So I kind of found the middle here so that I could kind of keep it going towards the middle. Now, being that this is vellum, it's super thin, or this is whatever, tissue paper, it's super thin. I'm not going to wind up cutting out these corners. They don't bother me. So we're just making that little box, right? So that we can have an envelope. So that's it. That's our envelope, basically. We're going to glue down a few of the sides. So let me make a few of these. I'll do it one more time. If you have something like that you can see through and you don't want to write on it, then do this trick. You know, you can probably see through. If you don't even have a grid like this, here's a suggestion. Take a 12 by 12 piece of less loved scrapbook paper and actually make the diagonals on that, right? Because it'll be bigger than this. Nice and dark so that you can see them. Then lay your tracing paper so that you can find the corner, the bottom corner, and the top corner lined up to the line that you've drawn, and the top and the bottom, and the right and the left lined up. And then you can see through it, and you know that you got to take this to the middle, right? One corner to the middle, and bring the other corner to the middle, and you can see it, right? So that could be a quick little hack, right? And then you can turn it around. You can line it up again. I'm good with just eyeballing it for the most part, right? There we go. And then we go like that and like this. Okay. So that's a quick hack. That's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna make 2 more. So I don't think I'm gonna speed this up. Make 2 more. Oh, everything is everywhere. What is wrong with me? You know what? Because I have a little fan over here. I'm sure you can hear the rumble sometimes because I just can't. It's too hot and I can't. So I'm using my grid paper, my grid board over here exactly, using this mark, that mark, those 2 at 6. Now that I see that, I can come up this way and meet it in the middle. Okay, turn it for me. I'm good. Just grab the same amount at these corners, right? You can hold it up against your board if you have a grid and make sure that it's going, you know, a right angle, right? And then I turn it again and I do the same thing. And I make myself that right angle. Okay, and it's all good. And one more. So we'll do one more like this again. Line it up, line it up, line it up, line it up to the 6, line it up to the center, to the 6, to the center. Scooch it over, pivot, pivot. There we go. And we have the middle. The middle. We line it up on the edge, make it a right angle here and there. Turn it around, line it up to the edge, make it another right angle, and there we go. Okay. And like normally you would probably cut out this little mass that's in the corner here, but since this is very thin for me, I'm not cutting them out. So I have 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this one, this mass makeup 4. Well, it's not, but the whole video is. I'm going to put glue down this edge here into this little thing, maybe into that little hole. I'm going to glue down one side. As it's still drying, I'm going to be able to lift it, get up in that corner, put glue over here, like that, and we got that. And then if you don't like this little triangle, you can cut it off or you can fold it over. It's all up to your preference. Right? Okay. If you fold it over, you might get some of that darkness from the doubling up of the paper to kind of go with everything else. Okay, it's kind of like that. You know, I'm manhandling and forcing things to go to where it needs to go, but it's fine. It's good. It's cute. It's all gonna work out, right? Okay. I'm not saying that, you know, things that are handmade are like trashy, but it's handmade. Some things will just need to be taken with a grain of salt. And over here, I'm just gonna close up this corner on this side of it, and this corner over here on this side of it, right? So that I have my little flap. Okay. And I have my pocket. So again, let's do this. We're going to glue up inside the little divot, on top of the divot, and up the side. Okay. Inside and up the side. And if you can guesstimate how much you need to fold down here, then you can fold down a little bit there. It's going to approximate. I don't know how that's going to land, but we shall find out. Okay. And then I'm going to bring it up. Okay. And it's a little wonky for my, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I could put a little sticker right there. So, okay. Gives me more opportunity for decorating. Okay, that's what we should call our mistakes or faux pas. Opportunities for decorating. Okay. And two more. Let's see. Let me fold this up and see how this looks. It's a little crooked. Yeah, that's all right. So let's do this side. Inside, outside, inside, outside, under here. Come on. Flip away the extra glue. We don't want to glue our pocket shut. There we go. Nicey, nicey. And then just so this stays flat on this corner, I just put a little glue in there. Okay. And one more in this style. Oh, let's do this little fold. How do we like that? Yeah, we like that. It's good. She good. She good. It's good. Okay. Mask making. I feel like it gets like a zone, like you get into the zone, you know, it's like a zenful kind of thing. So you just get into it and you just go and you keep just like banging things out. So we got 4. We have 4 more sheets of paper. So let's do 4 other styles. So I'm gonna put those over the side so they could dry. We're gonna do another style which is really common, which is the coin envelope. And so you're going to fold about to the halfway point, and you're going to fold so there's overlap. Not a ton, and luckily with this vellum you can see through, right? You're going to fold like that. So let me take this out the way. So you're going to fold and fold. Hopefully try to keep it like, try to keep the sides parallel to each other. So I'm just looking. You know, I'm a little bit skewed towards coming wide. Okay, like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to need to fold up one edge slightly, a 1/4 of an inch or so. And then you're going to fold the other one down like that. So with here you will need to do a little bit of trimming. So this is the only one that I really feel you're going to have to. So again, we're going to fold halfway-ish, halfway-ish. Okay. I'm going to try to keep it straight, so I'm going to fold this way and get the overlap not to be too much, right? And also to kind of make sure that I'm being parallel to the other side, because we want a straight envelope. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this line of pluses and this line, so that they're parallel because they're the same distance, each of the edges. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a little bit up, like 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and then I'm gonna do about an inch and 1/4 down, maybe like that. So we've got 2 of them folded. Let's fold another. Fold it in half, line it up, look for a line that I could use for parallel, which is this one. And I'm gonna try to keep that nice, and I have a good number overlap. Yep. And I'm going to fold that up like this. There we go. And then I'm gonna need to bring that about there down. Okay, last one. Then we're gonna glue. We're gonna snip and we're gonna glue. So I just noticed that this paper has a little bit of a sheen to one side and to not to the other side. Oh well, it's all good. I think I'm gonna put the sheen side out, the sheen side in, and we're gonna see what happens. But it's fine. Okay, find my little parallel. Like, this is not the middle, but it's all good, right? I don't want to refold it because we're gonna create another crease, and that's gonna make it ugly. She gonna ugly, okay? But you get the idea. We're gonna have a fold in the back, which is funny because a lot of the things that are considered the back we use as the front, and then a fold down here. Okay, so we need to cut part of this off over here. So let's open this up so you can see. This is our flap, this is extra, and this is extra. So we need to get rid of it. So we're going to cut. Now, I would suggest cutting slightly on an angle. So I'm exaggerating, right? So a slight angle to the intersection here of those 2 fold lines. Okay, on both of these pieces. So we're going to do a slight angle. Okay, this is going to ensure that when we fold it, the flap is not going to have resistance. And also we do the same little slight angle. Now this angle you will see, so try to be not too aggressive and consistent. And this one here. Okay, and you could do the same things down on the bottom, right? But I'm not going to do that because soy vaga. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my flaps together. So one is on the inside, one is on the outside. So with these, what usually we do is we will glue on the edge. The one that's laying down, we glue on this edge. Okay. And the one that's going to flap over, we glue on the outside edge. Okay. So if you notice, and you can see it great with vellum, is that it's going to have 2 points and nothing's going to be obscuring on the inside. So 2 edges of glue. Now with me, I'm good with having a darker colored flap. So I'm just going to glue them together right there. And then on that same what is it called? Crease. On the seam crease, I'm just gonna do that. If I want it to be a little decorative, I could snip it. I'm gonna just call it straight right now for a sense of time. But these are things that you could do in making your mass makes, right? I mean, this is all like prep work, right? The decorating is where the fun comes in. So there we go. There is our coin envelope made. So let's do the next ones here. So we're just going to cut again on a diagonal, on a slight diagonal angle to the intersection. Do the same thing here, not too dramatic. We don't want the top to look weird. You could also cut straight if you want, and round the edges, around the corners of the flap. Again, that's another option if that's you like to do rounding and stuff, right? So we're gonna cut this one again. I'm gonna cut this side like that. We're gonna cut this side like this. Okay, and oops. We're going to cut another little slant. And we're gonna cut another little slant. Okay. And this is the last cutting, and then we will do the final. Because I forget the rules of mask making. Do all the same things at the same time. I mean, that's, you know, that's one way to go about it. You do you. Okay, okay. Alright, okay. Alright, so all my little bits are cut out. So now we're going to go back to gluing. So they have their positions because they've been folded already. So again, we're going to open this up. What we're going to glue is we're going to glue this inside edge, the one that's laying down, all the way to the edge. And then when this is laying down, all the way to the edge. Okay. And then when you bring them together and you apply that crease that you made, they're overlapping, creating a nice little bond. Nothing's flip-flopping or getting in the way. Ooh, how lovely. And then with me, I'm going to glue on the inside so that I have that double up, that thickness. I like that look, right? I'm gonna do that. And if I wanted to, just because I want to show you, we could do a little snip this way. Wait till it's dry. And a little snip this way. Right, take off a little edge. Now they're not the same, so if I'm gonna do it, I want them to at least match. Okay, like that. And then we're going to add the glue to the flap, and you can get that. Again, that's your personal preference. So you have envelope number 2, and this guy is ready to go. But I'm not gonna do that again. So here we got this edge is laying flat, so I'm gonna do it the other way, so it doesn't matter. You can see it works either way. So that's laying flat, and then this edge is laying flat, so I'm gonna do the far edge, the edge that's to the exposed. We're going to bring it over, and there we go, nice and sealed down the center. And then I'm gonna seal down here underneath, and also here, this edge, and there. And for me, that looks good. Okay, this might be a little too long, but that's okay. One last one, and then we'll decorate another one just because why not? We have some time, right? I think so. The whole video has been 36. I don't know so far, but I'm going to have probably edited out some of that mask making. I don't know. When I watch it, I will have determined, so you can tell me what I did, if it was the right choice or not, in the comments below. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we got 4 coin style envelopes, and you can decorate front or back. I think for like a lot of times we decorate this side because we put it in so they can see that it's an envelope. And you can see, hard to see, but the cutting of the diagonal brings it down away from the crease line, so you don't have that the resistance there. So we got 4 of those. We've got 4 regular style square envelopes, and then we've got 2, 4, 6, 7/8, right? Because I have this one from before. So this I'm going to show you. This is the amount of decorating that she was doing. This is pretty much it. There doesn't have to be a lot, especially when it's vellum. You want to see behind what you have going on there because, you know, it's vellum. And that's part of the beauty of the vellum, is that you can see through it. So we're just going to decorate a couple. I'm going to show you the things that I would use. Obviously, things that are like washi, because they have that transparency. And so we're going back to the Temu collection. Actually, you know what? We don't. I have this too. I have some little scraps. You know what? I have some scraps from the other stuff that I did with the Temu stuff. Let me pull that out because we're just making little clusters. And so that should be good, right? So we do 2 projects back to back. Yes, I'm filming today. And we're going to be able to use pieces from one to another. That is awesome. Okay, let me grab the last little bit. Right? Yeah, there we go. Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? I think so. I think so. Ooh. Maybe not. Okay. Sorry, when your studio is 12 by 12, you know, you gotta try to fit everything in. Okay, almost ready, guys. Almost ready, guys. Let's grab what we need. This is trash. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll show you what these are because this is another idea. So, like, you know, wanna be a creator inspiring creators inspiring creators. Hashtag, you know. So if I have an idea, I want to share it. So this is something that I decided, again, another, you know, sometimes you see office supplies on Facebook Marketplace, or maybe you see like labels in the oh my god, thrift store, and they're clear. You don't know what to do with them. You're like, yeah, whatever. Take them, because what you can do is this. Where are my, you know, it's when you don't put things back and you start looking for things that we have problems. Oh no. Oh, here they go. So these were all clear labels. Honestly, they were already kind of yellowing from being so old. So what I did was I took some of them. I took a sheet and I just went to town with alcohol markers, and I just made these very vibrant. And I'm sure I could probably reactivate with some other alcohol and blend in, but I was kind of okay with that. The other thing that I did was I printed out people's or my own background papers, right? So that I could then pull off a thing and have that little piece of, you know, whatnot. There's some more of those. I'm looking for the other things. Another thing that I did was, don't tell people. I went on to the websites of different places where we buy stamps, right? And I just grabbed like those mock-up, you know, of the stamps and stuff like that. And I imported them into like a document, Word or whatever, and I laid them out and I collaged them myself, like over the space, and then I printed them. So these are images of the stamps printed on here. So I didn't stamp these, but these are images of the stamps. So I'll get little sections, and like this one was a really busy stamp, so I printed that. This was also one of those, I think this is the Tim Holtz, shh, don't tell him, the Tim Holtz one. Oh my god, am I still recording? I'm gonna be upset if I'm not. Oh my god. So yeah, it started, so I'm picking up. Just wanted to show you the idea. So basically, you know, you can take those old yellowing ones and print whatever you would like on them. Words, simple words would work as well. So this is kind of like what happens, you know, I had this and I had this page and this all put onto a Word document, and I just printed it on here. And so when I pull off a piece, I have something that's translucent, transparent, that's not transparent, translucent, and it could work out in kind of like this kind of thing. So I just put 3 different ones together to make a simple little, you know, backdrop. And then let's say we take another, this one happened to look perfect, you know, and I just put another little thing here, and like she's done being decorated, right? So this is, well guys, I lost the footage and that totally sucks. So these are the results of the easy decorating, something really simple, translucent, to kind of mirror the envelopes as well. I was showing you a couple of ideas that I had and things that I've made in the past, and you know, the rest are just like Temu stickers and Temu little ephemera pieces that we get that are just way small for anything substantial. So I'm glad to have you visiting my video and watching, and I apologize again for the lost footage. So thank you so much for hanging around, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, ciao ciao, bye.